Hey, FXBricks here, back with an update. Today we're going to be going over the layout and some of the changes that I've made, as well as getting it more into a quote-unquote final state. And we'll also be going over the new double straight tracks from FXBricks in their new 9-volt FXTrack product line that they started last month. Picked up a few of those, and I'll just kind of go over where I've kind of put those and how well they're working out. Spoiler, they are working out excellently, and I can't recommend them enough. So let's go ahead and start by going over the layout and just some of the changes that I've made, some of the different things that I've set up, and we will start over kind of in the back with the train station, the main city station in the back. It passes along the back, and I've made it now so the double track lasts a little bit longer, and there's two curves for a double track around the end, and then there's a crossover here in the front to be able to cut off into the passing siding and then come back to the main line for that passenger train and anything else that's going to be using that. I've swapped the train engine shed around. It was facing the other direction, but just the way that I was setting things up to be able to get the passing loop working, I had to flip that around. So that is there. And if you notice, as it transitions between over those cross tracks, there's an RC track here on the left. That is because in 9-volt, the currents have to go the correct direction. And because of the way the loop is laid out, if those were connected with a 9-volt, it would be crossing the currents and wouldn't work correctly. So that's kind of isolating between the two tracks. But the advantage to that is it gives me a loop to be able to turn trains around if I bring them on that direction, and then instead of going around the curve and going around this table, then it can go around and then go around the table the other direction. So I've got a kind of siding right here that can just be kind of storage for stuff, and then the train engine shed obviously has the two different sidings to be able to store stuff. I've got the crocodile locomotive as well as a couple other things. And then I've got some maintenance of way trucks here in the back. So continuing on down the layout, you'll see most of where I've put the double tracks, the double straight tracks from FXBricks, and they run mostly on the main line, because I noticed when I put them in that I was able to actually get the trains to run all the way around the layout, mostly without assistance, in terms of I'm only having to use one regulator instead of both of them. Whereas with the single straight tracks, it was taking both of them to be able to get all the way around the layout. And you can kind of tell the difference in the color because the FX tracks are using the blue gray instead of the old gray. But I don't think it makes that much of a big deal, because I'm kind of planning long term to get into ballasting. So that'll be less of a big deal once I start doing that. So over here, we've got the passing siding to be able to service the different industries that are over here. So one, we've got the harbor, and that's got a pretty long branch going off to that. And then over on the other side, we've got the depot that is kind of a smaller one, but it still works pretty well. So let's go ahead and shift over there. Big mess of stuff as I move stuff around, and I need to shift a couple of things still. So this is where that depot is, and it's just got track to be able to store the different cars that depot can service. Got both of those there. There's another siding over there for the kind of octane facility. I don't really have any more facility other than just the big tank and then the smaller tank, and then I put the truck over there just to kind of tie it all in. But I'll probably build that out a little better and a little more sometime in the future. So following the track back around, we come over to here where we've got the King's Cross station for the Hogwarts Express, and the main loop comes back around here and then goes all the way back down the layout. So those two tracks are just one and the same track. And then I've added a little bit of track for the Hogwarts Express to run around. So it comes around the layout and then it can join back with the main track, and then it will loop around Hogwarts. And I've still got to make some changes for that. But it will loop around Hogwarts and then can either go around the big layout or can go back into the King's Cross station. So to do a small review on the FXTracks, obviously I'm really happy with them. I can't recommend them enough. As I said, I wasn't able to get my trains to run all the way around the layout without adding the more power from the regulators. So it's made a huge difference to be able to do that. So if you're on the fence about them, and I know that stock levels have been kind of weird as they're still trying to get stuff kicked off and production off the ground and all that, but if you can get them, then go ahead and get them, because they're a good company to support, and they're really making great steps to get the 9-volt hobby back off the ground, and I'm just super excited for all the stuff in the future. I'm thinking that when there are 72 curves come out, I'm going to replace the curves around here with those. So that'll make the transition from between directions a lot smoother, and I'll be able to run the trains a little bit faster around these curves. So without further ado, I think you probably want to actually see the trains running. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the regulator over here, and just look at this packaging. It's just, they did such a nice job on the product and on the packaging, and it's just really great for the hobby, and really excited to see what else they come out with, and really excited for the rest of their products that they're working on. So without further ado, I'm going to run this train here that's got the Canadian National and the Maersk train, as well as the car carrier and the boxcar and the intermodal vehicle over there, or the intermodal car over there. So let's get it going. So that is it, and it looks like we lost the Maersk car over there, but that's fine. But that's it for the layout updates as far as right now. I'm still moving stuff around, still trying to figure out exactly where everything goes. The downtown is still pretty set up about how it's going to be. So we've just got all the modulars over here, but I can save that for some other time. Oh, and the mine really hasn't changed that much. It's still just kind of there, and it's got the siding for that. But I think that is it. So thanks everyone for watching. If you feel like subscribing, sharing, whatever you want to do, thanks for watching.